In my last video, I talked about Sally Hall, what many consider as one of the worst freshman dorms on campus. But today, I'll be showing you McCollum Hall, what I believe is one of the most underrated and unique freshman dorms on campus. So, let's check it out. Constructed and completed during the mid-1970s, McCollum Hall was the last of the 5 original Westside dorms to be built, and as a result has some notable quirks not seen in any other hall on campus, which I'll get to in a moment. For most of its lifetime, McCollum served as an upperclassman and graduate hall. Major renovations to modernize the building were done throughout the mid-2000s to 2010s, but the biggest change occurred a few years ago when the FSU administration designated the entire building to be a freshman-only resident hall. So anyways, that means McCollum Hall is basically the only apartment-style dorm for freshmen. I heard Ragans Hall, the much newer apartment dorm on campus, only accepts around a dozen freshmen, and you have to have a really high lottery number to even have a shot at it. But what do the McCollum rooms look like? Well, McCollum offers 2 types of rooms, an efficiency apartment which is reserved specifically for people with disabilities, and the Townhouse style rooms, which are reserved for the freshmen. So starting off with the aforementioned quirks of McCollum Hall, the Townhouse style rooms are 2 stories tall, making it the only residence hall on campus to have that design. On the top floor are 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and a large foyer area. Meanwhile, on the first floor is the kitchen and living room. Also on the first floor is the balcony, making it the only hall on campus to have that feature. Although they do look a bit dirty, I would recommend putting some furniture or even turf to cover it up since they're both allowed by FSU housing. As for lighting, the balcony offers a small porch light, but overall I really enjoy the balcony. Being able to get some fresh air without having to leave the room is a bonus, and even though the balconies might not have the best view, it is still fun to watch cars drive down Tennessee Street. And if you're on the other side, you'll have a beautiful view of campus with Doak Campbell Stadium in the distance. Just know that directly above you are windows from the upstairs bedrooms, so someone might be watching you. Moving away from the balcony, McCollum offers these floor-to-ceiling windows that aren't in any other residence hall on campus. There's even a place for you to open part of the window to get some fresh air, but I don't know if there's a ton of use for them. Focusing on the inside of the room, there's a combined living room kitchen. All townhouse style rooms are furnished with a couch and the sofa chair, but they're your standard run-of-the-mill college furniture. However, there's plenty of room to put your own furniture, so if you're planning on bringing a TV, there's ample space to put it in the room. Speaking of which, for reference, the total area of the bottom floor is around 215 feet, which is the same size of an on-campus suite-style dorm. Moving to the kitchen, you receive a decently sized fridge, a table with 4 chairs, as well as cabinets, a sink, and a stove. Just remember, if you do live in this type of room, you will be sharing the cabinet and fridge space with 3 other people. Additionally, while the stove does seem newer, some rooms have original appliances from the 70s, so it's kind of hit or miss on what you get. Overall, the countertop space is pretty small, especially for 4 people, but the cabinets are pretty big and can hold a lot of items. Wrapping up, there's a light, a fan, and an outlet. Right next to the stairs is a space that I think is a great place for more storage. Although there is 1 small light making the area dark, the stairs offer a surprisingly large space to put storage racks for food, or just to store loose items like basketballs and gym equipment. If you love to cook, I would recommend buying shelves and placing them in this little nook. Up next is the second floor, and after climbing up the stairs, you'll be greeted with a small light in this large foyer space, which is about 150 feet in size. On the wall by the stairs is an outlet, and on the other side contains 2 sinks, a massive mirror, and a ton of storage. On each wall is an outlet, a towel hanger, as well as a medicine cabinet. Under the sink is even more storage to place toiletries or other various items, and next to the sink area is this huge storage cabinet where they keep toilet paper. Honestly, unlike other dorms that I've been to, McCollum doesn't suffer from a lack of storage, which is a huge plus. Anyways, on the opposite side of the storage cabinet is a door. This door is the bathroom. The bathroom contains a toilet and, more interestingly, a tub shower. I'm not sure if anyone's actually used the bathtub before, but Rogers and McCollum Hall are the only dorms on campus that even give you that option. But back to the foyer, there are 2 more doors that lead to bedrooms. And unfortunately, this is where most of the glaringly weird design choices are located. So walking in, you'll see this light switch, which you'd think powers the overhead light, until you realize there are no overhead lights, but rather just some pipes. My friend has dubbed it the mystery switch, and even after living in this dorm for 2 semesters, he still has no idea what it even does. So where are the lights? Well, in the McCollum bedroom, there are only 2 small lights on the far side of the room. and as you can see, they aren't that bright. So if you're living here, it gets pretty dark, so you'll definitely need to bring some lights to make the room a little more homey. Also on the far side of the room are the closets you and your roommate will share. The closets are decently sized, with the closet rod half measuring a little over 2 feet by 4 inches by 3 feet and 6 inches. Above the closet rod, there's a shelf where you can place even more items. In addition, each roommate will be allotted 4 drawers, and these drawers measure around 22 inches by 22 inches. Yet, if you still need more space, McCollum has you covered with a chest of drawers that you and your roommate will have to split 50-50. Moreover, each roommate will get a standard run-of-the-mill bed and desk, and with there being 4 outlets in the room, each person will get 2, so make sure to bring a power strip. Wrapping up, there's a large window in the front of the room, although it doesn't seem to let in a ton of natural light. If you want to use an Ethernet cable, well, you're going to have to connect it to an outlet in the main foyer, which is just another strange design choice. As for the door, you can lock it, which will prevent your suitemates from coming in, but not your roommate. Overall, the townhouse rooms have a lot of space, yet do have some random quirks for them. As for the McCollum efficiency apartments, they're extremely hard to get into, and you essentially need to have special combinations in order to get them. They are on the smaller side with a more compact living room and kitchen, but you still get a balcony. The bedroom is extremely tiny. In fact, it is so small that you can't even close the door and there's no window. However, there is a lot of storage space in the bedroom, and the bathroom is a pretty nice size, with it even including this odd-sized bathtub. However, you do get the place to yourself, which is a positive. But with all that said, what else does McCollum offer? Well, starting off, there are 2 elevators, but you'll notice that these elevators skip all the even floors because of the townhouse configuration. On every floor is a trash chute and recycling bin, and they're located on the emergency staircase. Moving to the ground floor is where most of the common areas are located, and where most of the 2010 renovations took place. There's the front desk, which is open 24/7, a bathroom, and some vending machines. However, a big benefit from the renovations is the remodeled laundry room, which is extremely spacious, and has a place for you to do work while you wait on your laundry. In my opinion, the McCollum laundry room is the nicest one on campus, allowing you to have plenty of room to fold or put away clothes without getting in someone's way. Another area that's been greatly improved by the renovations is the McCollum recreation room, which is tucked down a hallway. It's one of the biggest lounges I've visited on campus, and I really like all the new furniture in it. While it does have a pool table, it doesn't have a ping pong table, which is a downgrade compared to the other halls on campus. However, it does have 2 decently sized TVs and little nooks that serve as quiet spaces, which I enjoy. Lastly, in terms of public spaces, is the so-called study lounge. It's on the first floor, and it overlooks the lobby area. It's a little space, and every time I visit it, no one's there. However, there is a space to sit as well as plugs, so it could serve as another area to sit and do work. However, what is near McCollum Hall? Well, that's often cited as the worst part of living in this dorm. For starters, like every other Westside resident hall, you are very close to Westside Courts, which is home to basketball courts, sand volleyball, and pickleball courts. Seminole Cafe and Sally's Arc are nearby and are both just a brief walk away. There are also a ton of parking lots near McCollum, which is great if you have a car. In comparison, most halls on campus force you to park at a garage and walk a very long distance back to your dorm. Most of the STEM buildings are nearby, such as the Psychology building, and a little further away is the Leach Gym. But if you want to go anywhere else on campus, be prepared to walk. McCollum Hall is literally the farthest hall from the center of campus, which means your daily commute time might be a tough pill to swallow. The Union, for example, is about a 15-minute walk, while if you want to get to Landis Green or Strozier, well, you're looking at a closer to 20-minute walk. One of my favorite spots on campus, 1851, is about 25 minutes away, while Westcott Fountain, where some of my classes are located nearby, is about 30 minutes away. As a result, I would highly consider accepting the long walk times or get a bike or a scooter. However, if none of those options appeal to you, I would highly advise you to consider using the FSU bus network. It's free, and there's a bus stop a few minutes away, but with new construction plans in the works, the system might be completely different by the time this video gets posted. But anyways, HE or GA line is useful for going to the other side of campus. Both have a stop at the Sandals building, which is about a 6-minute walk from Westcott. They arrive around at the top of the hour, so make sure you catch one of them or else you'll be waiting for 15 to 20 minutes. To get back to McCollum from the other side of campus, you can use the GO or RE line, and there's a station near the Sandals building. As I wrap up, just remember that FSU has a master plan for the west side of campus, meaning things will likely change in the near future. In fact, McCollum is slated to be demolished in the next few years. So if you're lucky enough to live here, well, it won't be around for much longer. However, I really feel like McCollum is one of the most unique halls on campus, and as you can tell, offers the most amount of space compared to all the other freshman dorms. It does have its good and bad quirks, and as long as you're willing to walk a long distance to your classes, I think McCollum will be a great choice for you. But anyways, my name is Frederick, and thank you so much for watching.